Hi everyone, I am Brett Slater. This is The Secret to Money. This next video is an interview on Insider on the ABC Australia. This is with a Kelly O'Dwyer, the Financial Service Minister of the government that is in power right now. I found this interview a week ago. I haven't really done anything about it, but I wanted to show people how they are manipulative, will not answer questions, dodge around the real issues, never to admit when they're wrong. It's a typical politician doing a job. I've cut this up so you can see the simple questions that she won't answer. I will leave a link below so you can look at the whole interview. It is a month old, but it just shows you over and over again that the politicians and the banks all work together. The tax cuts, the ideas, they always come in too late. Anyway, I am Brett Slater. This is The Secret to Money. Remember, subscribe, like and share. If you do like anything, leave a comment below. Let me know what you want me to look at. Anyway, take care and watch straight after this.
Kelly O'Dwyer, good morning. Welcome
Good morning.
back.
Thanks, Barry.
Are you at all embarrassed by that now, given you describe it as a talk fest and it turns out it's a whole lot more than that?
Well, Barry, clearly we have all been appalled by a number of issues that have been aired at the Royal Commission. There is an ethics
But what
authority.
you didn't do for a long time was set up a Royal Commission. Why didn't you do that?
Well, let me tell you what we've been doing. What we have been...
First of all, were you wrong to delay the calling of a Royal Commission for as long as you did?
Well, Barry, I think the record speaks for itself. We have taken action. We have taken action. We established the Royal Commission, Barry. Now, we didn't do this as a political stunt.
But you took so long to set it up. Were you wrong? Were you wrong to do that?
Well, Barry, I'm happy to answer your question, but you've got to give me a chance. We did it soberly. We did it carefully. We wanted to take action straight away to address those issues that we knew about. We reflect...
I think I gave you an opportunity to answer the question. You didn't. You didn't.
Well,
Were you
I have
wrong
answered your
to
question.
delay it for as long as you did?
Well, look, Barry, I've answered your question.
No, you haven't.
I
You
have
haven't
answered
said
your
whether
question.
you were wrong
I've said
or
we've
right
established
to delay it.
We have, in fact, established
You have established it, but it took a long time coming. Were you wrong?
Well, let me put it to you this way. We would not have done all those other things that we these
All right,
actions.
let me put it another way then, because clearly I'm not getting a direct answer on that. You said that the Royal Commission, at one statement, Labor suggested it was reckless and ill-conceived. Were you right or wrong about that?
Well, Barry, you can obsess and Labor can obsess about these issues. I'm actually obsessed about fixing the problems, and that's what I have been focused on.
You said it was very dangerous. Were you right or wrong when you said it was very dangerous?
Yeah, well, we also have to have, as a government, a very sober view.
Another thing you said at the time, this will be of no benefit to consumers. You said that. Surely shining a light on the atrocities that the banks have committed in some cases, that will benefit the consumers. Were you right or wrong about that?
So ASIC has made a statement that has said that they have... So a lot of these issues that are being aired...
Will the consumers benefit from this exercise? Will they benefit?
There is no question we got it right in establishing the Royal Commission. I'm very happy to say that to you, Barry. Very happy to say that.
Will consumers benefit from this Royal Commission?
They will benefit from the action we have taken. They will benefit
from the Royal Commission
as well. There's no question.
Well, then you were wrong about that. Will you concede that? You were wrong to say consumers would not benefit. Barnaby Joyce has conceded you got it wrong. The four banks have all conceded they got it wrong. Why are you so reluctant?
Because, Barry, governments need to be sober and deliberate in how they go about the business of government.
How about being upfront as well?
Yeah. And we have been upfront. I mean, we have been upfront. You know, it's very clear. The record demonstrates, you know, that we took action in relation to all of these other measures. We've increased the powers of ASIC. We've increased the funding. We've put them on a secure footing. We've brought in a new chair of ASIC. We've brought in a new deputy chair with enforcement focus. We've actually said that we need to have higher standards for financial advisors. We're putting in place a one-stop one-stop shop for consumer complaints. We've put in place the Banking Executive Accountability Regime, which a number of people said we shouldn't do, but we did because we wanted people in banks to have accountability. So these things would not have happened, Barry, had we not taken action from the get-go, had we simply said we're going to kick it off into the long grass. We've not done that. We're going to continue to take action, but we were right to establish the Royal Commission.
You said earlier that your approach is broader, Labor's was too narrow, and yet at one point you said that Labor's approach would damage the economy. Doesn't it then follow if you have a broader approach, you'll damage the economy even more?
The government, when we put together our terms of reference, were very, very careful in how we constructed the terms of reference. We wanted to make sure that the Royal Commissioner could go into any area that he needed to go into in order to examine our financial system. Our financial system is not just the banks. It includes superannuation, it includes insurance.
And part of the problem that you have now is that you haven't exactly had an aversion to Royal Commissions. Your approach on the banks is in stark contrast to the way that you rush to Royal Commissions in areas where you could put your political opponents in the dock. You put Kevin Rudd in the dock, you put Julia Gillard in the dock, you put Bill Shorten in the dock over Royal Commissions that I think a lot of people would say were nowhere near as urgent or as compelling as this one.
Well, the government's established one. I mean, I don't know.
It took you a long time. You were dragged kicking and screaming to the Royal Commission.
If you want to go over the political entrails, Barry, let me say this.
Well, that's important as well.
The first person who called for a Royal Commission was actually Mark Butler in the Labor Party when Labor was in government. The big scandals that happened, Trio, Great Southern, Storm Financial, happened when Bill Shorten was the Financial Services Minister and had direct responsibility. He was almost 3 years in the job. Labor did virtually nothing. We acted on coming into government. We put in place a financial system inquiry. We have been instituting the vast bulk of all of those recommendations. Labor opposed that. I think it is a bit rich for people to claim that we should have acted earlier when in fact they had the opportunity, and when we as a government have been very sober in the way that we've gone about it, and we are actually getting results for consumers. We care about those people who are doing
We're running short of time, but I want to ask you about these company tax cuts now, and given the what we've heard in the Royal Commission, it's going to make it so much harder now for you to prosecute a case that you want to give big tax cuts to the banks. In fact, the lion's share of the tax cuts to the banks.
Well, we want to actually give tax cuts to all companies,
including the banks,
because so Barry, what are you suggesting?
Well, that's not what I suggest. Darren Hinch, who's a critical player in this, you need his vote to get these company tax cuts through. He says the banks should be excluded.
So we employ
They'll pass on wage increases to their employees.
Well, this is what we've heard from some of these big companies.
You trust them to do this?
Well, this is what we've heard from a number of big companies that they will do this. In fact, Bill Shorten.
Do you still trust the banks to do this?
Well, look, I think the banks themselves have got a lot of reparation that they need to do in order to build trust of the Australian people. There is no question about that.
Including how they spend this
you are trying to conflate
the tax cuts.
Two issues that I think should not be conflated.
They've already got the cuts,
and if they do the wrong thing, we should cut.
They've already got the cuts,
and if they do the wrong thing, we should have some
sort
of morality tax
I'm talking
on them.
here about whether...
So, as you can see, I've had a little bit of fun with this video, making it look a little stupid, but it was fun. Let's face it, we all like to take the piss out of a politician when we can. I think the real problem here is, as usual, deflecting the real questions, not understanding real person's point of view, and believing that she knows better. She is just somebody who works for us. That's all the government is. We pay their wages. Anyway, I am Brett Slater. This is The Secret to Money. I hope you enjoyed that. Remember, go down below. The full interview's there. You can see exactly what she said, all of the answers. I just don't believe in governments either side. As you'll see, she is blaming the other party as well instead of answering the question. Anyway, I am Brett Slater. This is The Secret to Money. Enjoy. Check the link out below. Subscribe, share, like, all that kind of stuff. Bye.
Shut up and sit down.